All right, what is going on, Banter fam? Welcome into Tuesday's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and today we are going to be diving into the crypto gaming markets as always, as we're seeing a little bit of red in Bitcoin for the last 24 hours, but we still have a lot of projects out there that I've discussed on the channel and that we are bullish on that are performing very well. We have Froyo Games up 70% this week, 22% over the last 24 hours. Decimated kind of bouncing today. Superfarm trying to reclaim that $1 range. So we'll get into a lot of different projects in this video because I want this video to serve as an updated list of games that I have my eyes on in the space. And we're kind of going to section them out as top tier games, like established, very high market cap games, the emerging top tier games, such as like the Pegaxys of the world that are really pushing that line right now of a top tier blockchain game. And then we're going to get into what everyone wants is the small caps to put on your watch list for whenever the market starts going up. What small caps should you be looking into that are very, very quality games, but have suffered quite a bit from the conditions of the market? So let's get into it. As you see, my tabs are loaded today with different gaming projects. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't here to play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, let's get into it. And first thing on the docket, a couple of news bits as always, because there's always been these metaverse and gaming investment news, VCs or projects putting money somewhere to develop their metaverse or NFT initiatives. And today we have Gala Games plowing $5 billion into their NFT expansion efforts. So basically they're going to further their NFT ambitions. And what I love to see here is they're going to split it between gaming, music, movies, and theme park NFTs, which obviously Gala as a game studio, as a game developer, you could totally see them just integrating all these things in their world, just like Sandbox is right now, right? We're seeing Snoop Dogg in Sandbox. Sandbox just partnered with Warner Music Group, for example. So when you take a look across the space, Gala Games is one of those that just makes sense for these big players to come and partner with and potentially get involved, whether you are entertainment or whether you are gaming. And I really like the theme park NFTs. So very cool concept. And obviously it talks about they're diluted. And you just kind of take a look with the $2 billion going towards gaming, $1 billion towards the music ambitions, and $1 billion towards movies. And the theme park will pick up the remaining $1 billion with $5 billion allocated to the NFT expansion, which will kind of just be like their marketplace for their current games. So a very, very bold investment from a studio that's really leading the way. As you see here, they do have, association here with Snoop Dogg as well. We'll see the music developments that they could bring up into their platform. I think that's a very bullish development for Gala Games, and good to see them just continuously pushing the space forward. Also, we talked about Disney last week getting involved in the metaverse. Well, now they are hiring a metaverse designer. So what does that mean? Well, a metaverse designer, the responsibility is to shape the consumer products into digital metaverse and gaming. I mean, this is absolutely huge, right? I talked about last week. In the future, it might not be crazy that whenever your daughter or your son is on their iPad, that you mint them a Disney NFT in something that they are playing on their iPad. Seriously, this is not out of the realms of possibility. So when you take a look at there's really where this space is headed. If the biggest players like Disney get involved here, things are going to change in the way that we operate. And we're already so digital from a young age now that companies like Disney, I mean, it's huge that they're getting involved. And even the fact that they're saying the future of consumer products, shaping them into digital metaverse and gaming, super bullish for the space in general. And also, I loved this news today. because we talk about Ubisoft all the time, and Ubisoft furthering their blockchain gaming initiative, getting involved here with the Sandbox, and they are bringing this new project. I believe it is called the Rabbids, correct? It is called the Rabbids. It says the Rabbids invade Sandbox, and we are delighted to bring this partnership with Ubisoft to create your own experience with the Rabbids franchise in the open metaverse. And I think that obviously Ubisoft is the studio that's leading the way in crypto gaming. And I just love to see the continuous partnerships here from Ubisoft because they're not stopping, right? Honestly, if you look back and you can still see the numbers on Google and stuff like that, if you want to look up the Ubisoft NFT sales, they didn't do very well, right? Because normal gamers, they still don't understand the NFT side of gaming. So, Ubisoft said, we're going to double down, and they're just continuing their metaverse effort. I love to see this from Ubisoft, and obviously Sandbox, super quality project along the lines of Gala, like we just talked about as well. Just continuing the top tier partnerships and investments in different places inside of their metaverse. And last thing, before we get into the gaming outlook and crypto games specifically that we are looking at for the rest of the year, I have been hollering from the top ropes forever that NFTs will be the future of property ownership, car ownership, education in the metaverse. There's so much things that can be digitalized. A $650,000 house is accepting Ethereum, and its property rights will be minted as an NFT. There's a full article on it. And basically, this is undeniable. This is going to happen. Imagine a world where you literally just pull out your phone and you can verify on your wallet within an instant that you own your home or that you own a vehicle. There won't be a paper house deed. There won't be a title to your car that's on. You won't have a pink slip for your car. You're going to have verification of ownership on your device immediately. This is where things are moving. And sure, this is one property, but this is just the start, right? The idea is there. And this is where it's going to move. I can guarantee it in the future. Things are going to shift, right? Everyone calls it a JPEG until your property ownership is going to be verified on the blockchain via an NFT. And then really, are NFTs just JPEGs? My definition of NFTs is verification of ownership, if you had to ask me. So that is that. And I think that this is huge. Just the fact that someone out there has the mind to go ahead and do this now, this will be mainstream in a couple of years. All right, let's get into the gaming space and games that I do think if we get that uptrend, and Bitcoin's kind of consolidating right now, we could go down a little further. This is not a buy every token I talk about. This is not a ape into coins. This is not an all-inclusive list. I have so many games on my radar, but this is a list of games that I have on my radar coming up early 2022 or late 2022 that I think have great potential, especially if we get into some sort of a bull market. And I think that gaming narrative throughout the year is going to heat up, and I think that these projects will surge. So we'll start at the very, very top. Obviously, you can't talk crypto games without talking about Axie Infinity, and they do have their next update of their game coming, and the graphics look pretty sharp. So we'll see what they come up with. But Axie's the trendsetter, and it's undeniable what they did for the crypto gaming space. Even if they just reclaim $90, that would be a great gain for a project like Axie Infinity. So obviously, you cannot make a list right now without including Axie. Obviously, on top of that, I want to include Illuvium. So Illuvium, in my opinion, is definitely a blue chip crypto game. When you take a look at what they're building, it's super, super quality. And this is a project that was building on ETH, and they're going to use the layer 2 solution, Immutable X. This is going to have an open world gameplay aspect as well as auto battler. So your Illuvials here can be battling. And then there's the open world gameplay, as you see right here. This is the gameplay footage. And I think that this looks amazing. Definitely AAA quality. And these games really are setting the tone because Illuvium's been hyped for a long time. And this game is slated to come out this year. And I think when Illuvium comes out, you're going to see a big shift of players obviously move towards this game because it looks so quality and it's been so hyped for so long. It's very hard to ignore the hype that this game has had. And if you look at the price chart, obviously we were up at about $1,800. So we're about 3x, 2.5, 3x from all-time highs. The one thing you need to look out for, with Illuvium. There are token unlocks pretty consistently. So token unlocks are very, very cautious. So definitely look at the white paper before you invest in something like Illuvium. Undoubtedly, it will bounce if we go into a bull run. But just do your own research always, because tokenomics are key on some of these gaming projects. And let's take a look at DeFi Kingdoms. Obviously, we have DeFi Kingdoms here, $600 million market cap. And I've talked about it quite a bit. We won't get into it too much. I actually talked about it on yesterday's video. We've talked about it quite a bit in the past. But this is the real DeFi gamification play right now. If you want to stake LP and also have a game side with hero gameplay, getting ready for the player versus player. And they're also bridging from Harmony 1 over to AVAX too. So they're going to serve multi-chain when it comes to Harmony 1 and Avalanche. So I'm looking forward to that as well when it comes to DeFi Kingdoms. And you see the dominance. DeFi Kingdoms, 57%, 56.5% dominance over the Harmony 1 blockchain. I think that this is undoubtedly the best crypto game that is coming out in quite a while on Harmony 1. There's not many projects building on Harmony as far as games go. And I think that I've mentioned this in the past. Solana will have a leader in gaming. Like there will be a lead Solana game. There will be a lead Harmony game, a lead Avalanche game, Polygon, because that's just how people operate, right? There are people who use certain chains and are definitely loyal to certain chains. And I think you're going to see metaverses and games that stick out on each chain because I think there's loyalty somewhat to different chains. So like people who were early investors on Harmony probably loved getting in on DeFi Kingdoms very early because it was a shift in narrative within the ecosystem where they were involved early. They have a loyalty there. So I definitely think that is a good way to look when you're looking across different blockchains. I think DeFi Kingdoms, it's clear they have a dominance over Harmony 1. And then we're going to run through quickly a series of active games, right? So you don't want to just look forward to hype, right? You don't want to always just have projects that aren't working right now as far as games go. So you want to have a mix, right? You obviously want to buy hyped up projects whenever the opportunity presents itself, whenever the price is at the right or the chart is at the right place. But at the same time, you want to have a mix of active projects, right? So we have Pegaxy. Their 3D game comes out on Thursday to the public. And it feels like so many people haven't actually seen, this is like the true gameplay right here. So I think it's going to be a game changer as far as where the gameplay is now and where it's heading. They're also going to do stadium cells, very bullish for Pegaxy. And we'll do some races here on the 3D game on Thursday. But on top of that, you take a look at the active users up almost 200% over the last 30 days. People are flooding into this economy, and there's no mistake about it. It's because the economy is lucrative. It is a very easy scholarship game. I mean, you can rent right through the portal on the game, and a scholar can rent out your asset and be able to earn on an earning split. I mean, the economy is 100% healthy, and they really changed the game with their burn rate that is very effective within the Pega economy. So good to see here. And it's undoubtable. The on-chain activity in this game speaks for itself. Another game on a different chain is Crabada, which is on the Avalanche blockchain. When you take a look at the Avalanche blockchain here, I want to mention there's basically no, other than Crabada, there's no close competitor on their blockchain. And once again, there's a narrative there, I believe, where each blockchain might have a leader in the space. So when you take a look at Crabada, where there's a mining game, there's a looting game, you can also rent out a single crab on the marketplace. So you could go ahead and rent out, if you only own one, you don't have to have a team of crabs. You can actually rent them out, same as Pegaxy. The earnings obviously are a little lower when you rent as opposed to mining with a full team. But I'll do an earnings guide on this coming up because mid-month, they actually change what they call the meta in games. The meta is the best or the most overpowered thing at that time. So the meta changes mid-month on the most win rate and stuff like that. So I'll update on an earnings guide whenever that comes around. But this is going to be a very, very, in my opinion, this is going to be a huge game. And you take a look at the interface of their battle game. This is not live yet, but you can actually download the demo and try it out on your desktop. This has a real Axie feel. And if you've ever played Axie, the menu looks very similar. And it's a 3v3 battle game, very similar to Axie Infinity. It kind of reminds me of the gameplay. I mean, it's almost identical. We'll just kind of fast forward to the end here. You see the crabs dancing, victory. And honestly, the graphics are very clean. And it's got that like mix of good but very cute graphics. And it seems like the games with that cute graphic feel like Axie Infinity definitely have an appeal. And I think Crabada is definitely nailing it. The earning economy here is lucrative, guys. If you have like a team full of the meta crabs, it's definitely very lucrative. And we'll get into that in a future video. Like I mentioned, we've done a Pegaxy earnings guide. We'll do one on Crabada, but only about 6,000 on-chain users, guys. And this is on the Avalanche blockchain. So only about 6,000 on-chain users in this game right now. And that shows strength, in my opinion, where sure, you know, the project, you're seeing $100 million, but a $1.6 billion fully diluted. With the low amount of people in the economy on-chain right now, I actually think that's pretty undervalued. If you saw a flood, an influx of players come into this game, I could actually see this really bounce pretty hard. And an honorable mention, and not really an honorable mention, it's a very solid game, but tagging along, it's kind of right underneath where Pegaxy and Crabada are earning-wise, I would say, because Pegaxy and Crabada are in a league of their own, I would say, and play to earn right now as far as economies go. But Gods Unchained is a fully functioning $50 million market cap game. It's a trading card game built by the developer and the former game director of Magic the Gathering. And this game's been active for a while, 25,000 on-chain users over the last 30 days. And that's been pretty consistent for the last few months. So people aren't really leaving this economy, right? That's solid. The people who have gotten involved seemingly stick around because the game's enjoyable. And now let's run through a series of mid-cap games that I have discussed before on the channel, but that I don't want to really dive too much into because it would just be repeat information, and I've repeated this on the channel, guys, so many times. If I brought you a new project every single day, I would eventually be bringing you garbage or a rug pull or something of that matter. There's no way I could ethically ever bring you a brand new project in gaming, especially every single day. That's just unrealistic. So always remember, some of the projects will be repeat projects that we have talked about, but we focus on quality because whenever these projects and the market bounces up and when the gaming narrative heats up, we already have our eyes and our money in the right projects. And that's just the bottom line. So Syn City, the Mafia Metaverse, this one speaks for itself. We've spoke to Roy on the channel. I mean, everything about this project is A1. I mean, top tier. And I'm looking forward to stage 1 of the Syn City game coming up. We have Guild of Guardians mobile game. They actually just delayed their release to early 2023, which I'm pretty upset about personally, which has caused the 10% dip here on Guild of Guardians. But at the end of the day, they're not rushing it, right? They want to produce quality. So Guild of Guardians still one of the best games in the space on the horizon. And there's going to be plenty of development throughout this year that I think that this market cap right here is undeniably going to bounce. You take a look at Monkey League, very solid turn-based soccer game on Solana. We have Sidus, and this is the Senate token, guys. So many people buy the Sidus token just because it's called Sidus, but in reality, it's the in-game token, which is going to be given for rewards in the economy. So I think Senate long-term is the governance token, guys. So you want to be looking here if you're looking to invest in Sidus, and that's at about a $12 million market cap. And you're looking at a chart where, honestly, I mean, we were at $5 on Senate here just about a month ago. Now we're at $2. So some of these low caps, you have to look where the market was, right? When things go parabolic again, when Bitcoin starts pushing 45, 50, if we go into a bull market from there, whenever this does happen, right? I'm not saying we're in a bull run right now. I am just giving you a scope of the projects that we have on our radar for this year. And you look at DeRace at $100 million market cap. You know, this used to be the narrative. DeRace was the horse racing game that was the hottest. And then Pegaxy really came out. And now they're the $780 million project. And I also think that DeRace at $250 million, as their economy develops, they're coming out with their hippodromes, which involve like bookmaking, basically. You collect fees, essentially, from the bets that are involved on your racetrack. It's kind of a bookmaking feature with your hippodromes. Whenever that goes live and the actual DeRace game and economy is fully in action, I think that you'll see a big time jump in DeRace, and you take a look at the all-time highs once again, back around November, around Thanksgiving, when things were really peak parabolic. I mean, things were really blow off top level, especially in gaming at that time. We were at $8 on DeRace. So, if this thing can get back up to where it was, you're looking at a major gainer here in DeRace as things develop. And then Project Quantum. This one's a very interesting project, and I haven't discussed it on Banter. I've discussed it on my old channel, but Project Quantum is something that it got to a little overvaluation here. But, if you just kind of watch it as it has come down and see what they're building, Project Quantum is a first-person shooter that feels a lot like a mix of the environment feels like really jungle-ish, like the new Warzone map, but it also looks exactly like Apex Legends. And you'll see the way the movement, when you're sliding down hills and stuff like that, or climbing. This game looks a lot to me like an Apex Legend type of feel. And I think that this is super quality. And I've said it 100 times. There's a lack of games of this caliber that look anything like fun, right? This looks fun. As a Call of Duty player, as someone who enjoys a first-person shooter, this looks amazing. And this is something that, as a blockchain game, I would be all over this. I would be playing this with friends. I would be playing the single player. I would definitely be going all in on whatever game mode I could be earning in, whether it's single player or with my friends. And the development team here is super strong. You take a look at their actual game director, Lorenzo Avi, formerly of Atari, EA, Ubisoft, and Square Enix, worked on games like Final Fantasy, as well as some of the Tom Clancy games under Ubisoft as well. So a very strong team. And this project over time, at the beginning of the project, a lot of people thought that they had underdeveloped, the developers weren't going to be able to handle the capability of the game they were building, but they definitely had the capital to do so. And they are building something very, very quality at Project Quantum. This is a longer-term game, definitely. But we saw what it did in the bull run, right around the peak parabolic range. If you rode this thing up, you made a ton of profits. And I think that this could definitely gear up once again, especially as more developments come to the surface. Now let's get into the real fun, right? Let's get into the real smaller cap stuff. And this is where, if the market starts going crazy, these $6 million market caps can turn into a $20 million market cap so fast. And that's just I've seen it happen. We saw it happen in the last gaming bull run and the last bull run in general. When Bitcoin was at 60,000 plus, we saw games at unreal valuations, right? So you're taking a look at a WonderHero, which is being adopted, by the way. The live game is out. It is on the App Store as well, and you can play it on your PC, whichever you choose. But WonderHero is being adopted by scholars, and that is huge. I've said it 100 times. We saw games like Axie boomed. They had a good scholarship economy. We're seeing games like Pegaxy booming. They have an amazing scholarship economy. And I think Crabada, once that battle game comes up, which I just showed, there could be a scholarship economy there too. So whenever there are a healthy dynamic of players playing to earn, and there's also the asset ownerships, and there's passive economies, but there's also a need for scholars to utilize and put the assets to work. So it's good to see that WonderHero at this market cap valuation, I definitely think is very undervalued, as the game is being played at quite a high level right now. This is a brand new game, so very risky. I've mentioned 100 times, games die, but it's always good to see guilds putting backing into a scholarship system for games of quality. And WonderHero is definitely a pretty fun game. I mean, it's a turn-based game, but it's pretty fun to just get involved with some of these blockchain games and just kind of see what the economy is about. Every economy has their little kinks, things they could maybe do better, or maybe some of them are nailing it. But it's fun to figure out. And I think WonderHero, good to see some adoption here. And it's one of those small caps to definitely put on your list. I've said Defina in the past, and Defina at a $7 million market cap. They've paused their token vesting for a couple of months. So if we do go into a bullish trend, this could bounce very, very hard. Once again, they have about 5,000 monthly active players, which is pretty solid. It's around the lines of Crabada, but at the same time, Crabada's economy is much more lucrative. But Defina is one of those projects, very good backing and partners that I've had my eyes on very much in the past. And actually, we rode this up and we're able to take profits. And then, it's really, really taken a hit down here. But this is one that I have accumulated myself because I do believe that this is a project that's going to bounce very, very hard at this market cap level. 5,000 active players monthly. They've processed millions and millions of transactions on their blockchain, on their marketplace, and it's on the Binance Smart Chain. So I do love Defina. Another game that right now the coin is on Binance Smart Chain. This is Cornucopias. Cornucopias is the play to earn, build to earn, and learn to earn blockchain-based game. And the graphics look amazing. It's going to be built on Unreal Engine. There's a land dynamic as well as a crafting and build to earn dynamic. So I want to show you, like, this is what you would be building, right? You want to build a modern, like, you want to build your crib in some sort of a game or a metaverse economy. Well, here you go. Here's you building a modern house for you to put stuff and kind of like literally fully decorate. And it'll show the interior. It'll show the sharper graphics of the Unreal Engine. But this would be the building mechanic, right? So you're actually setting up like your apartment or your condo, for example. And if we fast forward here just a little bit, it literally is a cartoony version of what Grand Theft Auto looks like at the end of the day. Like you walk into your Grand Theft Auto penthouse and you literally have it completely customized, right? So Cornucopias is going to give you full customization. You could live in a modern house. You could live in a farmhouse. You could design anything you want in the Cornucopias world. I do love this project. And at a $10 million market cap, I do think it's very undervalued. Some of these diluteds are high, guys, but if you look at the tokenomics, most of the vesting on these projects aren't too bad. So if you look, they're usually between 6 to 12 or a couple of year vesting. I know some of these projects have 3-year linear vesting, for example, or Guild of Guardians, for example. No token unlocks until November for Guild of Guardians. So tokenomics always play a part here. But Cornucopias is building something super quality and will definitely bounce if we go bullish here at a $10 million market cap. Another one that has a lot of cultural impact, in my opinion, is Galaxy Fight Club. And Galaxy Fight Club, as me and Rand talked about last week on the show, it's kind of, it's like they want to be that Disney kind of crossover, right? Whenever Worlds cross in the Disney universe, or whenever Worlds cross in Super Smash Bros., they're trying to build that where you can bring your Galaxy Fighter and fight against a Bored Ape Yacht Club, or you can have an Animeta and you can fight against a CryptoPunk, for example. So they're going to have cross IP capability, and it's kind of like a Thetan Arena style game. It's a battle arena, and those games are super successful, guys. You look at Brawl Stars. Thetan Arena's game, for example, is super fun. It really is. It's a super bummer that they messed up their in-game tokenomics because their game was probably one of the more fun games on the blockchain. But the problem is, you have to build the earning system right to maintain your player base. So you have to have that balance of fun and good economy. And they incentivize holders of a fighter with daily GCOIN allocations. So I've always had my eye on Galaxy Fight Club, and I'm looking forward to more developments from Galaxy Fight Club. Another first-person shooter, $4 million market cap. This one just went live for trading a couple of weeks ago. This is Metastrike. Metastrike VR role-playing first-person shooter. And as you see here, they also have a third-person shooter zombie game. And these are the type of narratives that you would want to look for if we get the bullish trend and if we go up. Because a first-person shooter is so in demand. I remember all the first-person shooters in the bull run, for example, really ran hard because there's just a lack of them. So people are always searching for these type of projects, but it's not just searching out for that project. It's which one stands out. And Metastrike definitely stands out from the detail of everything that they've described publicly about the project in different AMAs and that like. But really, it looks the most, it's hard to compare things to Call of Duty, right? I mean, it looks their first person gameplay looks the most like maybe an early version PC Call of Duty. And this is what we're in, right? We're in the early stages of the internet, so to speak, when it comes to crypto games. I mean, we are early here. This is like being here whenever the internet was in 2001, and everyone's saying that it's a scam, but you're the one that's hammering down that this is going to be the future. Business will move to online, yada, yada. This is like the stage of game development that we're at, right? So whenever these projects do get closer to launch, and Metastrike looks amazing. This is a game, once again, kind of like Project Quantum, that I would play myself actively. So look out for these narratives, because these games, genres of gaming, that is a thing. There's always a leader in different genres. Madden leads the sport. Madden and NBA 2K lead the sports space. Call of Duty and let's just say Valorant lead the shooters. There's World of Warcraft in the RPG space. There's so many different types of games out there. So always look at different niches and different genres and what's hot and what is a void in the market. Another one, I've hinted at this on the Banter TikTok. So follow Crypto Banter on TikTok, by the way. But this is one of the more interesting projects out there, and I think it has a lot of potential, and it's Crypto Raiders. It is kind of a dungeon raider where you raid dungeons, earn gear, and level up. Right now, the earnings dynamic is being built out. It's not fully in place. You go and you can earn items in the game. So you can loot for gear and level up and resell your items currently. But right now, there is no built-in token earning system at this time because they want to get it right, which I definitely, I don't knock that at all. The creators behind this project are very, very sharp in the NFT and gaming space. And right now, the characters, a lot of these projects, right, that already have a game out or that already have something live, they're pretty expensive to get into. Crypto Raiders is definitely very, very affordable to get into. I believe the floor for a character is just 0.1 Ethereum, for example. And I know a lot of people like a horse in Pegaxy is $1,200. The crabs in Crabada are pretty expensive, for example, for just, for the average person. That's definitely not the most affordable thing to just be able to get into. So when you look at Crypto Raiders, it's a 0.075 floor, but these aren't really like characters. You would want to start here, and they're about a 0.1 Ethereum floor. So about $300 to get your foot in the door and start leveling up a character. And this economy is very, it's blossoming, in my opinion, because a lot of people are flocking to their Discord, very passionate about this game. And also you're seeing guild adoption once again. So preparing some awesome stuff coming soon for Crypto Raiders. And this is from GuildFi, one of the biggest guilds in the space, who we've talked about multiple times. And then we're going to run through quick hitter 5 projects that are around the corner that don't really have a token out yet, that you can't really invest in other than like land sales and NFTs. So let's start with Big Time. I think that Big Time is the biggest blue chip game of the year, I would say. If there's a game coming out this year that I would call my number one game to watch for this year, it's definitely Big Time, especially when you take a look. Their team's experience is undoubted. I mean, it's Ari from Decentraland. You have guys from the likes of Epic Games. You have guys from the likes of Blizzard, EA, Riot, worked on games like Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Gears of War, Halo, World of Warcraft. This team has crazy experience. So when you look at a game, you want to make sure that, they know exactly what they're talking about. And Ari and this team are on the ball. They already have a successful project with Decentraland. So these are the type of projects you want to be backing because who's developing the project, that matters, right? You can't just say you're building a game. That doesn't cut it. You need to make sure that the games you're getting behind are quality. So I think Big Time looks super sharp. Another game, right, which if you hold the Halbert NFT, which is just a couple dollars, you can go and play the Phantom Galaxies beta. And the Phantom Galaxies beta is super sharp as well. It literally feels like a AAA game. It feels like a more time in the spaceship version of Mass Effect. Like the graphics feel a lot like Mass Effect, the character design, but then you're in your cruiser and your mech and you're fighting in space. It's super fun. I've shown the gameplay here in the past on the channel, but this is one I definitely have my eyes on for their future NFT drops or whatever comes around the corner for Phantom Galaxies. Heroes of Mavia is the Clash of Clans of the blockchain. I've talked about this one as well. Their land sales are around the corner, something to definitely look out for because I think these will do really well. And they're already teasing NFT staking for their land. So Mavia is already a super quality blue chip project, in my opinion, that is right around the corner, that is in this 5 project to watch category. And in my opinion, them adding a staking component to their land only makes it more valuable because this game was already looking amazing. And then if they're going to gamify it even more for the people that don't really play games to be able to get some land and stake it, I absolutely love that. Ember Sword is another one I absolutely love. It's the ultimate sandbox MMO RPG. It looks super sharp, everything about this project. And the team really has their eye on the ball on Web3 gaming, right? So if you notice the trend here, it seems like every project on this looking forward to list really is taking their time to build quality. And they're really making sure that their tokenomics are really tied up and not going to be a failure, because there's projects out there where their in-game token has taken quite a hit. And it doesn't make a project a failure necessarily. Like Axie Infinity isn't a failure because SLP has tanked, right? Axie Infinity is one of the most successful projects in all of crypto gaming, and they'll be a legend in the space forever because they started the trend, for example. But learning from the mistakes of the tokenomics of an SLP or of a THC, which was State and Arena's in-game token, learning from those mistakes is something you can really build off of to perfect your tokenomics to make sure that that doesn't happen to your project. And then the last one, that's Champions Ascension. Now, this game is built by Jam City, the gaming company led by former co-founder and CEO of MySpace, Chris DeWolf. And this project looks amazing, guys. They're dubbing it themselves as a AAA game. And I mean, you tell me, I definitely think it looks like a AAA game, if you ask me. It looks like it is going to be definitely sharp and polished. So play to earn blockchain game. And as you see, the champions going at each other, built by an award-winning gaming company. And this looks sharp, guys. This looks sharp. So the champions are at battle, at war, and just absolutely going at it. As far as, and this is just a trailer right now, but when you look at like the scope, the graphics, how sharp it looks, very, very solid look for Champions Ascension. And I think that this is one to definitely put on your watch list. As you see here, their team is very, very solid. We have a former exec from 20th Century Fox, as well as the former CTO and co-founder of MySpace, along with the co-founder of MySpace as well. So really strong team. Another narrative, right? All these projects that are coming up that are taking their time, they have a little stronger teams, and they're really taking their time. And that says nothing about the projects previously. But if you notice, all of these are just super sharp looking from top to bottom. Big Time, Phantom Galaxies, Mavia, Ember Sword, Champions Ascension. I think all those are super quality. So the bottom line here, you need to be making a list, right? There needs to be something where you have all the projects that are on your radar ready to go in one place. So when the market does turn around and we see Bitcoin getting bullish and we see the market trending upwards, we get a couple of confirmations. As I mentioned in the market yesterday, in the video yesterday, the portfolio video, the ultimate gaming portfolio, for example, when you're looking at the market, you want to kind of figure out, is this a confirmation? Is this a fake out? Right now, we're consolidating a little bit. So it's the time to weigh out your risk. Do you enter on a couple of projects now, or do you wait and get a bullish confirmation? Because if we went up from here, I think that's probably a pretty good confirmation, in my opinion. And it's timing's everything. Timing is everything. And I'll do my best to definitely, I can't hold your hand, right? But I can, as I always say, give you the tools to sharpen and put in your tool belt to use as a gaming investor, because this market is volatile. We see the top tier projects do this, right? No project is safe, right? So if the market goes bearish, no project is safe. We are looking at projects of quality to definitely take a look at whenever the market goes up. If you have your bags in some of these, or if you are ready to fire on some of these small caps, you will be heavily rewarded, as the gaming narrative will heat up. It is just a matter of time on when 2022's gaming bull run comes around. So I'm going to get out of here. I will be back tomorrow again with another In the Game video. As always, guys, like the video if you enjoyed the show. It really helps push it out to others who are bullish on crypto gaming and the metaverse, just like yourself. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Till then, play well, my friends.
Bye.